You're listening to What She Grows Through, a podcast dedicated to empower and uplift Black women to grow their self worth. I'm your host, Chanel Amir, one of many dope Black women, creating a community for us to pour into and align with one another, uncovering our true feelings from sexuality to self love, to begin growing through life and evolving into our best authentic selves. Let's get started. What's up, beautiful? It's your girl, Chanel Amir, back again with the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. Happy New Year. And if you're listening to this episode in real time, we made it. I don't know about you, but 2022 was one hell of a year for me. And honestly, I can cry right now just thinking about it. On one end, it was amazing. So many life lessons and breakthroughs, but on the other end, lots and lots of breakdowns. But I'm continuing to learn those two go hand in hand. With breakdowns comes breakthroughs. So, yes, I had a bunch of breakdowns, and now I'm coming for it all in 2023. And I want us to grow through it together along the way. Beautiful. We're doing this life thing together, hand in hand, okay? All right. So now is 2023. Collectively, we are leveling all the way up. And I'm going to be honest in this moment, although I have some really big dreams and goals, once it was the 1st of January, I felt like everyone else was off to the races and here I am still at the starting point, like shook for real. I'm 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 hoping someone out there may feel the same, but I was hesitant and fearful and nervous, but I literally felt myself push. Like I needed to just do it afraid, continuing showing up, continuing to do the things that I genuinely and passionately want to do. I need to be that woman that I want to become, that I aspire to be. So, the mantra for this year is be her now. And I got the concept from the book We Should All Be Millionaires by Rachel Rogers. Dope. A plus. Would definitely recommend. I actually did on my socials. Definitely check that out. There are so many great recommendations that really changed my life. But be her now. No more waiting or trying to get things in situations to be just right before we go after these big goals and dreams. No, we are coming for it all right now. We are coming, we are going to be her now in 2023. So we often don't recognize our worth. But why though? I think the main reason is we are all, products of our own environment. Everyone around us, we're just trying to survive. My mom did it. Single mom of two, having two jobs, trying to make ends meet. And that's just my story, though. We all have one. But at some point, we have to believe that our lives can be different. For me, it was my intellect. I knew I was smart, and I figured that could be my ticket to, living a better life. But in order to really begin putting this plan in action, we have to really get clear on our vision. And people throw this around, but we have to begin getting to that woman. So, in this episode, I want to talk deep on creating a vision for us. While I create my vision for my life, I want to just, share how I'm doing so and all the resources and the gems that I'm picking up along the way. Like, I want to share with you so that we can do this thing together. So cool. We ready to do this. I'm ready right now to work hard at incorporating this in my life, and I want to share how I plan to do it. So I found out that there are three levels of vision. And this comes with a lot of steps. So be ready, have your notebook today. Like we getting deep, but we about to get into it. The first step is to create just absolute clarity on what our vision is. Having clarity, that's a big word. It's power. So let's be hella clear. Many people wish and pray for a better life or, to be successful, but they never clearly define what better or success even means to them. But if we want to achieve the highest levels of success, the highest versions of ourselves, we have to know what our highest vision is. We have to think long and deep. So there are three levels to that vision, and there are three types of desires that follow along with these. So the first is who you want to be. The second is what you want to do. And the third is what you want to have. Now, a lot of us, we get fixated on, the doing and the having part. And yeah, that's good and all because they are important. It's an important part of our lives. We want to know what we want to do with our lives. And we want to know, the things that we can have. But that being part is key. That's the bread and butter for real. You got to remember, beautiful, you are only using these things for the time that you're here. Like, you don't really ever own anything. Like, think about it. Ain't that deep? I mean, when you and I pass away or transition, however you may call it, these things that we have, they're going to just go to someone else, ain't they? But who you become and who you are, that is yours forever. No one can take that away from you. And growing through this journey, I'm telling you, it's not about what you have in life. It's about who you become. That's so important. I have that written down in my journal and I use it in my affirmations. And I want you to consider using it for yours also. It's not what you have in life, it's about who you become, because who you become determines what you do and what you have. So, getting in tune with yourself mentally, doing the work to be a better person, showing up for yourself, you'll quickly realize that the real growth and change has to happen from the inside out, starting with who you become. So, to create and form your vision, you have to look at all these three levels, starting with the being or who you become, and then moving out to, what you want to do, and then what you want to have. So I got a question for you now to think about it. Like, who do you want to become? I want us to really sit with this question and let it marinate. To really take action and to do it effectively, we have to take all those limitations off of our minds and just allow ourselves the dream. And I talked about this a bit in my previous episode, and I'll link it in the show notes. But remember, this shit is limitless. There's no reason why we can't be anything and everything that we desire. We are literally God's highest creation. And just because of this, all things are really possible for real. It just takes us to put it out into the universe, to really believe it. Now, as we think about this question of what we really want to become, it's important to remember that emotion, that's the nourishments for like motivation, And I talked about this before with the idea that thoughts become things. So I just want you to know that we have to have that emotion. It's so important that we make our vision feel real. And the only way that we will ever succeed in this here life thing is the creative vision that inspires passion. We gotta fall in love with this shit. Like, with our vision, emotion is the reason we take action. And some may think that making decisions off of emotion, may not be it for real because, we make decisions a lot of the times based off how strongly we may feel about something. And even through the lens of a black woman, we are often labeled with hella stereotypes and our emotions weren't valid. But what we know deep down all along and walked in was that emotion. And the thing is, after all this research and learning, emotion is really our greatest hype man for real. Like, it's our motivator. It's our higher selves wanting to be for real with us and come forward. Like, isn't that dope? So, as we create our vision, remember, beautiful, that nothing is off limits, like, no ceilings. All things are possible. So, be sure to include your personal and professional life in your vision. You see, here, this life we were given was meant for us to enjoy and to be fulfilled. Like, we have to make our vision something that we can get passionate about, that we can fall in love with. Like, the thoughts that we create, and how do you want to be remembered? Like, how will people talk about you? Think about the good that you will do for the world and, the people around you. And see yourself being that woman. Really allow yourself to feel what it would feel like to be her right now. Become her, be her. Put those thoughts all in your mind and use it with the two most powerful words that just enhances this shit even more. And that is, I am. And I know you see these affirmations on socials. I am. Use all the senses, beautiful. Think, feel, see, become, and know that it's only you that can be that. And the way to make sure to maintain a lasting success in life is really just balance, for real. Like, that is a deep word for me. It's big, and I'm still trying to figure out how to do that in my life. Like, we got to figure out what balance looks like for each of us. It's all different. Balance for you may mean not working every day, getting a break from the kids every once in a while. All we got to do for real is just be completely real and honest with ourselves and at all areas of our lives, and take them into consideration with this here vision thing, while also putting the physical, the mental, and the spiritual aspects to it. And as we begin to dream of what we want to be, do, and have, we will then have to address all these other areas of our lives. So, are you ready to dig deep into that? Because I am. It sounds like a lot, but it's important. That's that self development shit. Now, I already have been working on these. That's why I'm sharing, and I want you to grab your journal so we can start doing some dreaming. And I'm excited. Like, I geek out over this stuff. this is my shit. But okay, you got your journal? Okay, cool. Write down all the things that you want with no limits on your life. If there was absolutely nothing that you could not do right now, It doesn't matter how you're going to accomplish it. The first step is to just get it down in writing. We got to begin to actually craft this vision and get very clear on what it is that we want specifically. And after this, then we can start attracting that outcome into our lives. So when you get your intentions clear, the method to achieve it, it, it it'll appear. That rhymed. Is wild because many times, we can get all caught up in this in the how to's, and I know I do, like, or the method to achieving our goal. And because of this, we get stuck and then we never do anything. Because the real thing to do is to just get our intentions clear, get hype, get passionately involved, like fall in love with the process, and then the method will follow. The method will come. The how to's will then begin to manifest themselves for us, and we could begin to take action. But it's just one day at a time, one step in front of the other. So, preparing to create your vision, there are 4 rules that we need to know, and I'm going to go through them. The first rule is your vision must address all 3 levels: who you want to be, what you want to do, and what you want to have. And within those levels, you then can look at the mental, the physical, and the spiritual goals in each of these areas. And that's where the balance issue comes in. Now, rule number 2 is just releasing all the limitations in your head, all the self-limiting beliefs. Like, remember, all things are really possible. Rule number 3, your vision, it has to state what you want versus what you don't want. And I know a lot of us, we can get caught up in the overgeneralization. I don't even know if I said that right, but that versions of things, like something like, I don't want to be, no, I want to be debt free, like no debt. But that's too vague. There's hella people who live under bridges who are debt free, or even looking at it like, you know, just selling off all your stuff, your car, your house, everything. You'll have your goal, boom, debt free, kind of. But it's vague, it can go in so many different ways. We got to get even clearer and reframe that to, I want to be financially free. Now that sounds way better, right? We can't have no negatives in our vision because that's what we'll focus on. Saying debt free, your subconscious mind will have that debt in there. But being financially free, yeah, that's something that we can get to. The thing is, our mind cannot process a negative. If I tell you don't think about chocolate cake, like, what do you think? What do you have to think of? That damn chocolate cake. You have to think about what not to think about before you know what not to think about, right? I mean, that was a lot. Like, that was a mouthful, but kind of deep. But I'm sharing gems right here. Like, this information, it was it for me. So you got to make sure that you're really careful and make sure that you write down what you want versus what you don't want. Remember, beautiful, the dope things about our mind is we are programming our subconscious mind. Whatever we give it, it will take without question. So write what you want versus what you don't want. Okay? And lastly, rule number 4, you got to write your vision in present tense. You got to be able to see yourself already in the possession of this good that you desire. For example, you can say those I ams. I am a millionaire versus I will be a millionaire. You will say, I am enjoying, I am excited about the way my life is headed, about this relationship. Of course, we're mindful that this might not be exactly where we're at yet, but this is what you're programming into your subconscious mind. If you tell your subconscious mind, I will become happy in my relationships, that's what it will create for you. Will become, not being. And I hope you're noticing a difference. I'm trying to be as thorough as I can. Like, whatever you want, beautiful, write it in present tense in your journal. The more that you can put in the emotion and the passion filled words, the more that you'll be able to, vividly imagine this shit. Because our subconscious mind does not know the difference between something that actually happens and something that's visually imagined. And you can Google that. That's a lot of stuff is backing that up. Like, so now we have the rules, and we've been thinking about our vision. I know that you have to have some dope things written down. I hope you're hype about this. Now, the next task is to write down all the things that you want to be physically, mentally, and spiritually. All the things that you want to be. Give yourself just 5 minutes. That's all. Allow yourself time to write. Pen or pencil to paper. Everything is possible. During these 5 minutes, write everything that you can put down. Just keep your pen moving. Everything that you want to be. And I hope you really decide to take part and write these things down. And I talked briefly in a previous episode about, dreamers, but there's a big difference between dreamers and achievers in life. And I think I'm going to save that deepness for another episode, but we got to do the work. So write it down, beautiful. So many times we have every reason or excuse why we couldn't do something as simple as this, but it's really about action. Like, just taking action, doing it. Okay, cool. So now that you got some dope things down, I hope so. Now the next step is taking the number of items that you have in your what I want to be and then count them up. Once you counted them, divide those into 3 sections. So if you have 15 things on your page, 15 desires, you'll have 3 columns of 5. 5, 10, 15. 3 columns, 3 sections. And after you know what the number is, go back and put each of these sections of your vision as A, B, or C desire. So if you have 15, your A desires will be the most important things to you in that group. So for example, if you have 15, you can have 5 A's, 5 B's, and 5 C's. So make sure you just divide them into 3 sections and then put them in as A, B, or C. Okay, cool. So now here's the next step. You go through all your A desires and put them in chronological order. So 1 through 5, maybe you had 30, 1 through 10, however many you have, 1 is going to be the most important. Just put them in order. And you ask yourself, if I can only have one of my A desires, what would it be? And I know it might be hard to choose one, but we're doing the thing here. If you can only have one, what would it be? Get your first one. And when you got that one, then ask yourself, again, having that one already, if I could only have one more, what would it be? And remember, right now, we're only just looking at your 8 desires. Put them all in order, 1 through 5, or whatever you have. All right. So we're getting through it. I hope you're following through. We're ready for part 2. So we'll come back to those in a minute. But next, we're going to tackle this what do I want to do section. What are the things that you want to do? Like, quit and remember, physical, mental, and spiritual. Same thing before. Just write down for 5 minutes in your journal. There's no limits. And really try to dream all the things that you want to do in your physical, mental, and spiritual areas of your life. And then again, take all those desires and count them up. Take all of what you want to do, desires, divide them into 3 sections and put them in A, B, or C categories, just like before. And A is going to be most important. And you can only have a third of your desires as A's. So take all your A's and put them in order. The A will be the most important. Ask yourself, if I can only have one of these, which one would it be? And do this in order. So 1 through 5, 1 through 10, whatever. Put them in your A desires down in order. Like, woof, girl, we working, right? But we're almost there. We can get one more round to go, okay? And with that, we just getting fulfilled, like, in our dreams and getting like complete clarity on them. So, last is the what do I want to have? What are the things that you want to have in your life? What do you really want? Do you want one of those dope Porsches that be riding around? I know I'd be looking at them. They dope as hell. Do you want a home with floor to ceiling windows? Whatever it is. In your physical, mental, and spiritual areas of your life. What do you want to have? 5 minutes. All right, let's go. Write it down. Get clear. There are no limits. I hope you're getting excited. Like, get hype. Write them down. Get them all down. And, if you can get them down, then you can have them. Let's put it like that. And then once you have them, divide them into 3 sections. Put them in A, B, or C categories. I'm sure you're starting to get the hang of this by now. A is going to be the most important, just like before. And then this is the final step. You would take all your A desires and put them in order, 1 through whatever. So A1 being the most important. If you can only have one, what would it be? Okay, cool. So we're doing the work right now in this moment, and I'm actually really proud. And if you are listening up until this point, I already know that you're here with it, right here with me. We both are on a path to success and wholeness, about to get our lives all the way together. I hope you're just as geeked as I am. I know I got some dope things written down. So you should have 3 A1 goals, 1 in the who do you want to be category, 1 in the what do you want to do category, and 1 in the what do you want to have category. So 3 A1s. And last but not least, write down something that you will do within the next 24 hours to take a step towards your vision. You think you could do that? Like, these are 3 most important things in your life. What will you commit to doing within the next 24 hours to put them in play? If you want to be financially independent, you can go to the bank and open up a bank account, put $5 in it. It don't have to be big. If you want to be a great mommy, you can schedule a day with your babies. Have undivided time with them. If you want to go on a trip, you can research some places that you would like to go. Remember, it doesn't have to be hard, beautiful. And I think we did a lot of work as it is, just in this episode. Like, we captured a lot of things, and that's important to us. But it's time that we put some kind of action in place. Like, we got to begin to do the work. It feels nice to talk, but we got to put that action in there. So write those down on, the next page of your journal. The 3 action steps that you will do within the next 24 hours. And, this is kind of important. Like, you got to write them down and you got to commit to doing these things, okay? So I'm heavy on Clubhouse, as you may know already. And a main room that I go into is this Law of Attraction Club. It's so dope. Like there's so much power in faith and belief, but it's a crucial step in all of this to, guarantee the success of our vision and our goals. Like it's really proven in the study of like science and psychology that you must have something mentally before you ever have it physically, because everything in the physical world first started out as a thought, as an idea, a vision, because thoughts become things like streetlights and an iron and wallpaper. Like everything started at first as a thought. And there's a quote that I read in a book that said, there's a difference between wishing for a thing and being prepared to receive it. And I thought that like matched perfectly with, what we're trying to talk about here and what we're trying to do with building our vision and being able to put that into the world. We got to believe that we can receive all of this beautiful. Like, there's a bunch of great people who have accomplished dope things. And a lot of what others believe might be impossible, it was. And that was all through just being able to visualize it, having that vision, and remembering that sometimes the vision is only for you to create and put out into the world. So we got to just start becoming more self-aware, beautiful. We got to understand how this world works. We got to understand the way things work. We got to build an unbreakable like belief and a faith, in accomplishing our vision regardless of, current situations in our lives. We got to believe it without question in ourselves and remember that every thought that we continuously hold on to, but have that emotion piece attached to it, it plants a seed in our subconscious mind. And this seed immediately begins to attract, that of which is necessary for its growth. There are our thoughts or, energy. It all aligns, but just be aware that the seed will only grow to the desire that is nourished. And that's through repetition in our beliefs. So if we're planting seeds of faith and belief one moment and seeds of doubt and fear in the next, what we're putting out is just attracting confusion and anxiety. And I know I experience a lot of this. That confusion, hella anxiety, but it will not bring us to what we want. We got to grow and we got to plant and grow our vision and only what is in our vision. Okay? So it's so tough at times, but it's oh so rewarding and fulfilling. And we got to focus only on our vision, regardless of what's happening around us, regardless of outside stuff or even our current results. We got to believe and know that it's only a matter of time before our vision begins to manifest itself in physical form. Like that's an actual law. We got to, we know what a baby takes 9 months. We know this, but we wouldn't go up to the mom and question her after like, month 3, talking about when's the baby coming out. We know that it takes time. Just like your vision, it will come in physical form when it's ready. But your vision has to be here now, in this moment, in present tense. You must visualize yourself in the picture and create the picture and be in the picture, like looking through your own eyes. Your vision has to be, here and now. And to do that, you got to get emotionally involved. I mean, your subconscious or, spiritual level is where your emotions are. You got to get emotionally involved with your vision. You got to have that passion. You got to fall in love with it, beautiful. Like, you got to want it more than anything. And at the physical level, the vision has no choice but to what? Begin manifesting. Because you're doing the work, you're doing all the things, you're connecting everything, you're putting it all together. So take your A1 visions, your A1 desires, and create a picture around them. Write them down. And every single night, you got to visualize that picture in your head. Visualize this and let yourself relax. Bring it up, That's the focus in your mind. Make it beautiful. Be in that picture. Use your senses, Hear what you hear. Feel what you feel. Smell the smells. You got to get hype. And just remembering that a vision is way more powerful than a goal. I'm going to just let you know this right now. We have taken a scientific approach by creating goals that, are basically an outgrowth of our vision. And that's how they align so perfectly. So when we put the two together, your vision and the determination, like, this shit will make us unstoppable. And then when we believe in ourselves and we put that trust in ourselves, like, oh, that will forever continue to set us up with bringing our vision to life. And we got to continue to connect our mind with our dreams and that path to wholeness that we all want. That will be so much more dope. So I hope I was able to empower you today in this new year. 2023 is our year, beautiful. What was it? It 7. That's a divine number. But we got to do the work. We got to take action. And we got to do it together. So thank you for listening to the latest episode of the What She Grows Through podcast. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed putting this one together for you. I was hella nervous, but I was able to make it through, and I'm so excited and happy about our first episode into the 2023 new year. Please rate 5 stars and leave a review if you were able to grab some gems or take advantage of the exercise that we did in this episode, and feel free to share your vision. I would love to hear it. Head over to Instagram and Facebook at What She Grows Through so we can continue to connect. And just thanks for listening and rocking with me up until this point. And I just look forward to talking with you again. Until then.